Thank you for joining me for what I'm more or less calling my story/spoiler run through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This is your warning that from this point forward, this video and all of the videos in this series are full of spoilers and speculation for the complete story in Rebirth, so everything we're given in-game. It will be looking at ideas and elements from Remake as well as the original Final Fantasy VII, start to finish, so including beyond where we are in the story, the whole story start to finish of OG7. It will be incorporating ideas and plot elements from the books, On the Way to a Smile, The Kids Are All Right, Tale of Two Pasts. It will probably come up once or twice discussing Advent Children, the movie, and I will give you fair warning, it is such a convoluted story. And going back through it, for how many times I've watched other people play, I've watched my play, I've recorded these videos, as many times as I've gone through it, there's always new ideas and thoughts that I have while doing stuff, so you'll see little interruptions occasionally throughout the video, like this! And those are just, during the editing process, something I forgot to mention. I came in and thought of it, and so added it in after fact. So if those are annoying, sorry, but it is what it is. So I want these to generate discussion. I want to hear your thoughts, so please join me in the comments. Tell me things that maybe I missed. If you see something you missed, let me know. If you think I'm wrong about something, please. If you think I'm going off into crazy town, if you think I'm on the right track, great, let's talk about it. Maybe discussion will raise some more ideas. Anyway, without further ado, thank you for joining me. I love this game. Hopefully you do too, so let's get into it.
Look! Look, look, look! Something's coming!
I said it originally, this sort of reminds me of the night that you kept getting revisited in FF13 and the holographic shows that they put on there where you see the summons come in and give their little performance. Obviously, you get a lot of these same basic ideas on the original one. This is just massive glow up. So here we are, just all right. We are at the service entrance.
Come on, come on! Shall we? Let's.
And the glasses are back on. Where did you come from? Why are you down here? Here we go. They really did the gold saucer justice, I will say. Alright, here we go with... Supposed to be Palmer coming in. Yep. And at least they made him relevant.
Wallace, Tifa Lockhart,
Ish.
and Cloud Strife. Look at them. Look. Waltzing around with the flower seller and Hojo's lab rat. Who are these people?
At least they're finally on a real wanted list. It's about time.
That's all well and good, but why am I in charge of handing out the posters? Don't they know I have a division to run?
I think you're where
Apparently you're not doing much, though.
Cloud, the others are waiting.
Alright, yeah. It's time for me to call it a night, so... Oh, I guess we gotta meet Dio again, huh? I forgot this was first.
Just gonna scoot by you there. Excuse us. Coming through.
So that was interesting to see, honestly, where Tifa and Aerith put themselves forward and where they kind of hold back. Because that was Aerith kind of holding back in the crowd, and Tifa grabbing her hand, pulling her forward, saying, no, we're coming up front here. But other times, you know, Tifa is much more reserved, and Aerith is a little more in your face. It feels like more, you know, interpersonally, Aerith is more willing to step up and say things. You know, I mean, she'll confront Cloud about things every now and then, whereas Tifa is very much the no. But publicly, Tifa seems more willing to, you know, push her way through the crowd, for instance. What's up, Andrea?
Nice try.
The floor's all yours.
I didn't realize, I just read this today, that Jules, the trainer in the gym, is Andrea's younger brother. And apparently in the Japanese version or somewhere his name is Jinan, I think, which translates to like second son or something like that. Or I guess it just translates to younger brother. But yeah, never knew that. I knew they had a connection of some sort, you know, and were obviously well familiar with each other from Wall Market, because, you know, Jules was concerned when Andrea was overdoing it before the pull-up contest. But I don't remember anything in the game that in any way would have given an indication that Jules was his younger brother.
There he is, our challenger for the evening.
Turn that hand up, and you've got a man with a gun arm.
Welcome to our gilded paradise, the Gold Saucer. Dio, our director. And you, sir, are...
Cloud.
Power move.
Well, Cloud, shall we duel?
Let go.
Now, when fate sets us a challenge, we must rise to meet it. Are you ready to rumble?
Yes, we are a cast member. I kind of wonder why Dio singled him out. Obviously for game purposes, but you know, if maybe like Cait put him up to it. Come on. Put Cloud on the spot. See what he's made of. Or did Dio just recognize a contender? This seriously could have gone any number of ways, from like a 3D dance off. Crud. That was like.
All right. Well, you're ready.
I still think the 3D battle against Sephiroth in this should have changed it up, and Cloud did like an Omni slash version, or an Octo slash whatever. Yeah, no, it's Omni slash is Cloud's version of his ultimate there versus the 3D Sephiroth brawler.
Young man.
Cloud saw that smile. Cloud doesn't like to admit that he has fun.
Let's give our worthy contender another thunderous round of applause.
Dio, he's the 8th one this month that's beating your butt in that thing. You need a new gig. Yeah, see, Cloud's getting into it. Da-da-da-da.
Well, thanks.
Nice punching up there, Cloud.
A small
I don't wanna know
token
where he
of
was
my
hiding that.
thanks. One golden ticket. Your ticket to paradise.
Seriously? There's no extra room in those shorts.
Let's go. Thanks.
Nicely done.
You were pretty nervous. Cloud's used to performing in front of crowds. You should have seen him at the Honeybee Inn.
Eric.
Got to tell me that one later.
Yes, yes, UV. Yes, she will. She'll give you all the details.
Oh, now that we're here, let's have some fun. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Sure. Sounds like a plan to me.
I had my fill of fun in Costa del Sol.
Let's put it to a vote then. Teensy little break. All those in favor? Me. Me.
Yay or nay?
I had forgotten also that really in OG7, Red's weapons were combs and like the things that attached to him.
While you still have time.
See? No drawn weapon. That Sephi was only in his head,
Maybe
really.
you should lie down for a
Even
bit.
though there was a black robe there. Positionally wasn't the
No.
same.
I'm alright.
Come on, man. I know this ain't the same. Why don't you
What was I saying?
book us some rooms?
Oh yeah, Red's weapons.
Fine.
Yeah, lots of combs and I think the icons for him were like some of the feathers that attached to him and things like that. But it was like the seraph comb and crystal and stuff like that. But they switched all of it to be just collars this time, which is fine because he's not. Red never attacked people with his frickin' accessories.
Hotel's got
It's biting and clawing, you know. So his weapons just sort of give him power ups and give him a place to hold his materia. He's not actually striking people with his comb, with his collars, and never struck them with combs, unless you want to argue that him jumping forward and doing his little spinny attack somehow hit them with it.
Mako. When it's gone, so's this.
Where'd that come from?
Paraphrasing you.
Oh, here we go.
Well, you're not wrong. But I get your point.
It's
Live it up while you
moonwalking.
can. Future's not promised to no one.
Here we are, Barrett getting upset about the Mako, and if you watched the previous, one of the previous sections, I mentioned that after OG7, when we get to On the Way to a Smile, Barrett's chapter has him second guessing and thinking, well, maybe some Mako use is okay for little things. Now, the Mako use here for, you know, pretty frivolous purposes, as opposed to, you know, actively making life easier for people, something that might be needed
This
by
is
using
what the
Mako
planet's
energy.
dying for. This is why we're bleeding her dry.
They mention when you get to the
Look at it.
modular reactors out in the desert in the later chapter, you know, they're cycling them on one at a time to they don't drain too much and to slow down the desertification of the area. I sincerely hope that the ruby weapon appears in part 3, and this will be one of my predictions later, I'm sure. But the ruby weapon appears in part 3 and attacks the gold saucer as a major source of Mako use, because the weapons are showing up to protect the planet. Using up all the Mako and the energy is a danger to the planet. The weapons show up first and foremost in reaction to Shinra in this game. Then in part 3, presumably, they will react to Sephiroth, which is when they show up in OG7.
Come on, pal.
And so the rupee weapon appearing in this area, it seems to make perfect sense because the Mako is being sucked dry here, and the gold saucer is where all that power is going. So I think it would be really awesome and just an amazing cinematic to watch if the ruby weapon appears and attacks the gold saucer and beats the living crap out of it. And that, number one, gives them a chance to reset what minigames are available as they slowly rebuild the gold saucer over whatever's left in the game. So now we don't have different minigames. I mean, we will have different minigames, because right now there's not really a reason to. We've been to all the pods, so unless they're going to add whole new pods, or, well, let's just get rid of the bike game for no apparent reason and replace it with something else. There's no reason to. Like, logically, in-game logic, there's no reason to. But if whole sections of the saucer are destroyed, that gives them the opportunity and a reason to revamp and reset everything and give us a whole bunch of new attractions and games to go through, which I think would be really cool, and a reason why we can't go there at first, or why certain parts open up slowly over the course of the game. Yes, it's my idea, so I think it's smart, but I think it would be a smart storytelling and good game design because we have a whole nother game to get through. I think that would be a really good opportunity and thing they could do with the gold saucer to keep it fresh. Then, of course, the other areas where the weapons appear in OG was, number one, the diamond weapon that attacked Midgar, another massive source of Mako use, and not just counting the sister ray, and sapphire weapon attacking Junon, underwater reactor, massive cannon, etc. And the Ultima weapon attacking Mediel, which was an area where the life stream was always close to the surface and could theoretically be considered at risk. We don't know what's going on in that part of the area right now at all. So it's a possibility. An emerald weapon, of course, just sort of chilling out in the water for no apparent reason. Alright, let's go. There's not a whole lot to do before Cloud takes his little nap. But like every part of this game, pretty much, they frickin' nailed this hotel. Like, bringing to life the details of the original. It was great.
Was tacky. Seems classy now.
Alright, let's see. Are you just generic ghost? Yeah, you're not. No real card action there at this point. Good storytelling here, by the way, with giving Cait a reason to interact with the team. Giving some interaction with the whole Palmer and the Turks presence in the story. Again, very good storytelling here.
Gentle sirs.
What in the hell was that?
That's got to be a really weird head rush.
Apologies.
Got any rooms? There's 6 of us all told. Well, 5 and 1 pet.
Might I inquire as to what kind of pet?
Lab rat dog.
He was joking. Make it 6.
Very well. Now then. Oh, I'm terribly sorry, gentlemen, but it appears we're all booked up for the night.
For crying out loud. What about the other hotels?
Forgive me, sir. But according to my records, all of our hotels are sadly...
What other hotels are there here?
Hello again. Nowhere to stay?
And what's it to you?
Now then, did you want 1 suite or 2?
You trying to scam us?
I wouldn't dream of such a thing. And to prove it, I'll foot the entire bill myself.
Sure you will.
Well, aren't we a prickly bunch? You there, dangly man. Would you mind checking one more time?
Yeah, I think maybe Reeve probably got a little bit of personal pleasure out of canceling Palmer's reservations here. I don't think Reeve likes Palmer. I don't know that anybody does, really.
It feels so good to do good. All right, lads, enjoy your stay.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo.
Your suites are on the 4th floor. Please proceed to the elevator at the top of the stairs.
I'm mildly curious how he controls his altitude. So I guess just stay here for a little while and see if he gets a massive head rush. Because that's not okay. This is actually a really important spot. And your first time through, if you've played the original, you might catch quite a bit of this. But going back through it again, you notice a lot more of what we're about to get here. And basically, it's just how freaking accurate that Moogle's predictions are here. Every single one of them is accurate.
The offer still stands. A fortune or two to steer you true.
You can answer any question?
I mean, he can answer. Might not be the right answer, but he can answer.
That, go on and ask the cat.
Okay, we're looking for Sephiroth. Think you can find him?
Oh, Sephiroth, you say? All right. Hold on to your underpants. Meow, 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 meow,
Meow, meow, meow, meow. Alright, number 1.
Things are looking up, so throw caution to the wind. Put your trust in others, and a last-minute twist may pleasantly surprise you.
So, I've heard people mention throw caution to the wind. Maybe that's a reference to the high wind. Not 100% certain on that one. But put your trust in others, and a last-minute twist may pleasantly surprise you. That's, as far as I'm concerned, that's Cait himself. When you putting their trust in him, and he shows up at the last minute, even though he betrayed that trust on some level, he shows up and saves them at the Temple of the Ancients, just like he did in OG. And so that's what I think that one is referring to. I can't think of any solid options that it might be otherwise. But if you have any other theories on that one or any of these predictions, let me know, please, in the comments, because these are my observations, especially here. So I very well could be wrong.
What's this got to do with Sephiroth?
What indeed? Give me another chance. I'll get it this time. Come on.
You can't make that snapping noise with gloves on, Cat. Just saying.
Watch your belongings. Lucky color. Black?
Your belongings being the keystone that is stolen by Cait, no less. Black materia, black robes, any number of things could be a reference there for lucky colors black. But yeah, watch your belongings. Someone might steal it and give it to your enemies. Also, watch your belongings. The black materia. Either one of those or both of them could be the interpretation there.
We're done.
Wait, don't go. Third time's a charm. Come on, you stupid thing.
You've been right to Act 2 so far. Let's go for 3. Even if you don't know it yet. And, of course, the kicker.
Anything the matter?
Seek, and you are sure to find. But alas, you shall forever lose what you cherish most.
I think that one should be fairly obvious that we're talking about Aerith here. Not entirely sure she is what he cherishes most, but she's certainly up there in the rankings. depending on if you're what are the two thing Team Clareth or Clody or Clefa or something. I don't know what the other one is, but yeah, if you're Team Aerith, she would be what he cherishes most and therefore loses. I mean, seeking Sephiroth, seeking the black materia, that's yeah, he got it, but the price is, in the end, we lose Aerith. So I don't know if there's another layer to that one or not, but
The stars work in mysterious ways.
You good?
Yeah,
boom, boom,
it's
boom,
just
boom, 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 boom,
what I cherish most.
boom, 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 boom.
See what the scrap does.
My apologies, sir.
Which, you think of Barrett's reaction there, that is Barrett demonstrating concern for Cloud and his mental state, really. I mean, you just look at his reaction there. He was all like, oh, dude, are you okay? And he was like, dude, don't do that. I mean, which we know Barrett cares very deeply for his friends and family and etc. But I think this one kind of feels more like one of those times when Barrett's concern stems from the conversations that they have about Cloud behind his back. It could just be Barrett being concerned because he's his friend, and Cloud clearly seems a little upset by this. But it just kind of feels like maybe it's the next level of that to me. You have anything else to say, Kat?
Odd. My readings are normally bang on.
Oh, they were quite bang on.
Stars mustn't be smiling on me.
Of course, we won't know how bang on they are till much later in the game.
Fourth floor.
That would be up,
Of course.
not down.
Very well. Fourth floor it is.
Okay, now we see the fruits of Cait's efforts. Palmer, the man who wants lard and butter and God knows what else with his tea, clearly a man of refinement and taste, loves this hotel. And there's Rude.
Reservation under the name Palmer.
Director of Space and Aeronautics?
Yes, of course. One moment, please. It says here you canceled those rooms?
What? No, we didn't.
If you look at the design, I do enjoy that all of the Turks, if you look at the coats are almost identical. And it's very, so I mean, it is their uniform. And so if you look at there's just minor details in each one that are personalized to each Turk. So Rude obviously wears his open, but still, you know, the black under the black under the black, and he's the only one that wears that. But they all have the same, the stripes on where the pockets and the sleeves. There's almost identical. Rude's got a couple of extra stripes here that Elena doesn't have. The cut of Elena's is obviously slightly different since she's a woman. Reno has the open front and has like a buckle holding his together, and has the, you know, the bare-chested white shirt that is still nevertheless very crisp and a clean outfit. It's not rumpled and slouchy. He is still sharply dressed, just more, you know, waxy, bare-chested. And then Sung is pure button-up, everything straight, neat, exact the way it should be. Has, you know, just everything about Sung is just perfection, like just neat and orderly, everything in its place, etc. And it's very much an indication of his style of everything. So I mean, all their uniforms are very close to each other with just enough personalization to give them characterization. Frickin' Tonberry.
More toys.
Retribution is at hand. I want to know whose bed the spider drop down one is, because that would scare the living bejesus out of, well, either Barrett or Red, probably.
Cool.
But not for fun, just to take a walk. Hey, you've been acting pretty weird lately, Cloud. Rest up.
Here,
and
it's
shake
just,
it
you know,
off. You hear me?
this is generic concern. Like, hey, buddy, you need a rest. What you got? Stop it! Stop! That one scared the crap out of somebody that I was watching one time. It was hilarious. Alright, here we go to Zack Land.
More tired than I thought.
Sorry, man. Feel like I failed you. Sorry, man. Feel like I failed you.
And this is sort of the first indication we have, I think, that Cloud is really aware of this other world. And we're getting it from, you know, Cloud's perspective, literally. And this was also the first time I noticed, look at the background there at the window. The clock has no hands on it. This is not a weird detail that they forgot to put in, because other clocks elsewhere in the game have hands. None of the clocks in these doomed worlds, in any version of them, doesn't matter which one you're in, whether it's Zack or the Date world or whatever, none of these doomed worlds have hands on the clocks. And I think it ties in with when Zack and Biggs are talking, and Biggs, as you mentioned, sort of the losing track of time since they've been here. And it really, I mean, it's not the same passage of time. There is no sense of time. It's completely cut off from the main flow of time, really.
Didn't peg you as a bookworm.
How do you not peg her as a bookworm, Zack? Come on, you know better than that. Aerith deserves her Zack. It ain't at the materia. Okay, I guess I can't do anything there. Is it time to leave? Yeah. One minor thing I find interesting about the situation with Cloud here is just the fact that they've got him in the wheelchair, because that's how Cloud ends up in OG when he's in Medial, and they've fished him out of the live stream and he's in an almost comatose state from Mako poisoning, and all he does is just sit there and his head lolls around and he's in the wheelchair, and that's when Tifa rescues, grabs him from the clinic, and they fall into the live stream together. So I don't think it's an accident that Cloud's in a wheelchair here and not moved into a lounge chair or that little chair right there on the table at the desk. Anything else other than a wheelchair, which is nice for getting him to and from here. Probably kind of hard on the stairs, but where else might they be putting Cloud here? There's a bed right there, which admittedly is Elmyra's, I imagine. But this was the spare bedroom in the original story, in Remake. This is where they put Cloud in the spare room. See again here? Look. No hands on that clock. Pretty sure, if I remember correctly, like if you come here in Remake and you look around, the clock has hands. They know what they're doing. I remember coming up here the first time being like, oh, wow, this is still great. This is wonderful and green. And oh, wait, no, everything's dead. This is not nearly as wonderful as I thought it was. Now, the thing that I find interesting to note about this area is that, first of all, that this exists at all. Because as Aerith has said, I mean, this place is special. This really is like the only frickin' green place for miles around. All of the area around Midgar is dead. This spot right here isn't. And it was like this before Aerith got here. She made the garden and enhanced it, obviously, but this was Elmyra's husband. I'm trying to remember the specific details without going and looking them up right now, but in Traces of Two Pasts, where you get Aerith's backstory, her husband wasn't mafia or the mob exactly, but he basically was an honest man and did a really good job with managing the construction crews or something like that, and managed everybody and made sure the right people got to the right jobs and got a fair deal out of it, and so everyone respected him, and he built this sort of construction, not exactly an empire, and it wasn't exactly a mob, but it wasn't 100% not a mob sort of deal. And then when he went off to the war in Wutai, Elmyra was still here, and it was the family business, really. And she married into the family. And there are some locals who made, that would do the work and they would report to Elmyra, and so she sort of ran things in her husband's absence, but also left a lot of it up to some of the lieutenants in the business, if you will. And Elmyra was insanely well respected on behalf of her husband, but also in her own right. And so that's why she has this sort of special place here, is because of her husband's family. So if you ever wondered why, with all the slums around and all the crappy housing and people practically on top of each other in rundown things converted into a house, they have this big damn space all to themselves. You could fit a lot of stuff here, really. If you needed more place to put people, yeah, there's the water, but I mean, you could definitely put some stuff here and fit some more houses. But this belongs to the family, and that's why it's off to the side and reserved just for them. And then Aerith, of course, turns it into her private garden and then starts selling flowers, because Zack convinces her to sell flowers as part of their getting to know each other and dating. Builds her a flower cart or 2 or 3, depending on how far down that side quest you go. And yeah, so he's the one that convinces her to sell flowers, and also to go up to the plate to sell flowers even, because Aerith had never gone up to the plate because she didn't like the open sky, which we saw come through in Remake, where she liked the steel sky and she was a little bit afraid and didn't necessarily like going out into the main world where there wasn't the sky above her, the steel sky above her anymore. One quick but very important note here that I didn't know until after I had recorded this scene. On Aerith not liking the sky. I knew when Rebirth came out, they went back and they released an update to Remake that changed Aerith's final line of dialogue after leaving Midgar. Originally, she said, "I miss it, the steel sky." And that made perfect sense. And, she even mentions when we get to Lower Junon that she likes having the ceiling above her, basically, that, she doesn't mind it. She kind of likes it that way. But they changed that line at the end of Remake. And so now she says, "This sky, I don't like it." And I believe she's looking at the sky at the time. Now consider that with the idea that this world is already broken, that I mentioned before, and we'll come back to this towards the end because I think I think that change was very deliberate for just this reason. That the sky in this world has the same cracks, but only Aerith can see them at this point. And they showed up when we defeated Fate in the Whispers and left Midgar, and the first thing that happens is she's looking up at the sky and she says, I don't like the sky. And I'm now that I know this and have thought about this, I'm tempted to go back and look anywhere else where she might be looking up. There are a couple of places, and she does have a tendency to kind of gaze up and out, and she's never really in a good mood when she does. And I think now I'm on board with this theory that this world is, and all non-original timelines are doomed worlds. And she's currently the only one that knows that. And at the end of the game, Cloud can see it, but then nobody else can. And I think if they want to give us a happy ending to the story, I think the goal will be trying to make this world and the ending Aerith wants now the correct one, to improve the ending from OG7, and Sephiroth's goal is to try and make the original ending worse and force that essentially into the new canon. That it won't have happened. It'll be something more aligned with what he wants in the reunion, and Aerith is trying to, for the same thing, essentially to forcibly say, nope, this is now the new canon, this is what actually happens from here on out. And through whatever mechanism, basically make this world reality. But currently, and ever since we defeated the Whispers, it's a doomed world. That's what I think is going on here, and I think that line at the end of Remake just feeds this, and because otherwise there's not really a reason to change that unless it's really deliberate. Hey, Marlene. Hey, Terrier Stamp, that they're definitely going out of their way to make sure we see.
Would you care to join us?
Definitely. I'm starved.
You're supposed to say thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
No, you're supposed to say it now.
Thank you. Hey, did someone come by the house last night?
Oh, you must mean Biggs. He was just dropping off some food.
Then what's with the sneaking around?
You've seen those wanted posters all over town? Well, his face is on them.
He has a very big deal with the Resistance.
How do you know him?
I'd rather let him explain. So long as Marlene's here, he'll come around again.
He won't. Biggs isn't coming back. Tifa isn't coming back. Daddy isn't coming back.
No human being with the heart likes hearing Marlene upset.
Nobody's coming back ever again.
She's too adorable.
Sure they will. And I know just how to prove it to you. I'll go and get Biggs. Right now.
Mean it?
Always do. Honest and true. Let me guess. You don't like dumb rhymes.
No, I like rhymes sometimes.
Not bad, kid. Not bad, kid.
So real fast, I'm sure it'll come up in a later Zack World scene. and possibly the date world as well. But part of it, partially just because we're centered in Midgar, it's I've seen the comment made that the people in this doomed world, and I think originally they may have only been trying to refer to the date world, but it really, in this whole doomed world that we see here, that the people there are there because they have a connection to Aerith. And that's why we only stay in Midgar, because that's the only place Aerith was for up until the last couple of weeks. Her whole life was spent in Midgar. And everybody you meet, everybody you interact with, has some connection to Aerith, and so that was sort of an argument that she was the one responsible for the existence of this world. Because of it, you have Marlene, who has a connection late in the remake story, of course. And her mom, Biggs, they mention, and people were like, she doesn't have a connection to Biggs. Well, she does in Traces of Two Past. She and Biggs knew each other as kids, because Biggs was an orphan, and Aerith spent time with the other kids around that age, and then Biggs, when he grew up, did work with the orphanage, with the Leaf House, and so was still a presence in that sector, so obviously still knew Aerith to some degree. But didn't know Jesse, she didn't know Barrett at that point. So, I mean, until we rescue her in the tower, Aerith never met Barrett. She only had met Marlene at that point. So there's a little bit of credence to that, except the fact that everybody else in frickin' Midgar in that opening scene, all the troopers, the reporter, everybody else that's in the world early on, is still in this doomed world that Zack is in now. And I don't think Aerith has a personal connection to all of those people. Yes, Midgar, but there's nothing there between her and all those other people that would account for their presence. So I don't hold really any credence to that theory. I just thought I'd mention it because it was brought up in a forum I was reading at one point, and I read it. It was like, oh, that's interesting. But no, I don't think so. So, but I mean, they had a good point that all of this takes place in Midgar. So we have no idea what's happening in the rest of the world in this doomed world. We never ever leave the Midgar area. Even Zack and Cloud's first steps here, they're right on the outskirts of it when Zack is saved, and then goes straight into Midgar. So we have no idea what else is going on in the world outside of Midgar in this doomed place. Which, that at least is an interesting point and something to think about. But not for the reasons they think, I think. So yeah, I think this is Cloud's first Zack crossover. And I didn't set on purpose this date, so I have no idea who we're about to see here. My first playthrough, I am Team Tifa all the way, and so I made sure that I got Tifa. I think this is probably Aerith, who just pantomimes at us.
How you were holding up. What?
Nothing. Never mind.
Nothing. You look very
Still
pretty,
under
Aerith.
the weather, huh?
You always look pretty.
No, I'm fine. Sleep helped.
So does that mean you'd be up for a little sightseeing with yours truly? Just so happens the Skywheel's running a special for couples.
For couples? As in...
I'll leave that up to your imagination. It's more fun that way.
Now I think maybe this is set from when I was coming through completing quests and such, as I did a bunch of work in the chapters, completing stuff before diving in on the hard mode run, and I came to this chapter and I had set Aerith so I would see all this stuff, but there's much more limited dialogue, I think, because I've already done all the mini games, I've already done all the things, and so there's not really much to do here except go straight on to finish the date off prematurely, really. So you lose a lot of the options if it's not your first time through with the character, I think. You just the individual dialogue at the different games that you play and stuff like that.
Going down to the lobby.
And I wonder if you reset your everything and you set it to no quest completion or whatever it is when you're picking your levels, your playthrough. I wonder if setting it back to 0 and no quest completion would change that. I don't know. Yeah. He's a dad.
Sorry.
I seriously wonder a bit, because the way they've set this up is that he sees him and wonders. Originally, we don't see any of this happen. We just see sort of the aftermath, that Barrett heard about such and such and went to go investigate and ended up down on the ground at the same time we did. But here, I don't think they say that Barrett heard about someone else who got the same operation I did. Which I believe he says in OG7. I don't think he says it here, which makes me was like, why is he suspicious when he sees the gun there? Is he just, oh, someone's with a gun and he goes to investigate? That would make sense. Until then he sees Dine, so I want to watch what happens in the next couple scenes with Barrett and Dine and see whether it looks like it's a surprise or whether it's more just confirmation of what he suspects. And we'll be reading into his facial expressions, obviously, but...
Come on, push it!
That dude's neck is messed up.
This is some kind of race today, folks. In all my years in the booth, only seen a couple this close. So, Cloud, which bird do you think is gonna take home the win?
I don't remember seeing this.
Aerith, considering their plumage and breeding, I think the choice is clear.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't come here when I came through.
No! Oh, wow. I never would have expected to run into you here.
What are you doing in this place?
Why, celebrating, of course. My little jaunt to Costa del Sol proved... Oh, I swear, every time one of Sam's chocobos takes first.
So bet on
Always
Sam.
dumping his birds, the con artist. Enough about me, though. What about you? Like paying attention to your girlfriend.
Whatever.
You can... Congratulations on your victory.
Hello, Tifa.
Oh, Cloud, you're up. Feeling any better?
Yeah, you were right. Just needed some sleep.
That's good. I am a little surprised to see you, though. Must have been some nap.
Taking a break from the fun?
Pretty much. I could feel a headache coming on, so...
You okay?
Oh yeah, I'll be fine. I'm just not used to all these lights and sounds is all. But I'll head to the hotel soon. Don't worry.
No comment on us being on a date. Okay. Okay, so here we go. So the fall of Dine, presumably.
What happened? It can't be.
It's like he sees the gun arm, but he also sees the whole back of him at the same time, so we still don't really get an indication of whether or not he knows Dine got that operation.
Welcome to Couples Hour at Skywheel Square. Cuddle up with a partner in our cozy gondolas and see our golden paradise.
Oh, I should have gone to Wonder Square or whatever it is with the
crowds,
where Loveless
share a
is and
private
seeing
moment
Aerith's
together,
reaction to
and
Jesse.
experience dazzling sights
I don't think
and
I've seen that
sounds.
one yet.
The memories you make here are sure to last a lifetime.
Come on, let's get in line.
Or not.
What's going on?
I don't know. Your attention, please. We are currently experiencing some minor technical difficulties. While our technicians are working hard to resolve this issue, for your safety, we ask that you follow all staff instructions.
Over here, folks. Our friendly cast members will show you the way.
Thank you so much for understanding, and have a wonderful day.
Cloud! We've got trouble!
Oh, hi, little guy.
What is it?
Get to the Coliseum! On the double! Because between you and me, there's been a wee shooting in the lobby over there. And the word around the saucer is that a man with a gun for an arm was the perpetrator.
And this is the universal symbol for a man with a gun for an arm.
Now get going. There's not a moment to lose.
That can't be true, can it?
Let's go find out.
That Moogle's fast. Or that cat is fast. Getting
I'm
everybody
sorry,
together.
Sir, but only authorized personnel are allowed past here. No. Excuse me. Copy that, sir. Apologies for the delay. Please.
Minor paper pusher with no influence whatsoever, huh, Cait?
Found a place to transfer.
I need you to step back, please.
Get me a sit rep on the other squares.
Shit.
It's like I told you. Someone went on a rampage. And now...
I'll take it from here. I am Dio. As park director, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this, our gilded paradise. We meet again, young man. If you'd like to go another round, I'm always game.
Seriously?
Just don't pull another card out of your butt, please.
A director from head office was attending a Coliseum match earlier, when their security detail was gunned down. Both guests and staff were caught in the crossfire.
That's terrible.
The assailant took care to knock out the cameras,
Which immediately
so we have no image of their face.
stop recording and rewind
According to
themselves when you
eyewitness
shoot them,
reports,
apparently.
It was a man with a gun grafted to one arm. And that's when it hit me. I knew this man. He was one of several fugitives we were warned to be on the lookout for. Nigh as tall and muscular as I, yet brash and brazen, with an ever-present scowl that smolders behind his sunglasses, and a gun for an arm.
Seriously.
Tell me, does that sound like anyone you might know?
Now wait a minute. Barrett might have a temper, but he'd never do this.
His forearm is almost as
Though
big
I'd
as
like
Tifa's
nothing
head.
more than to believe you. This tells a very different tale.
No, we...
Listen, this couldn't have been Barrett.
And what makes you say that?
The cameras. It's not his style to avoid the limelight. If he really did kill all these people, he would have had a damn good reason.
Of course, the logical inconsistency here is that every time we see someone actually die or something die, they go live stream. Unless their body needs to be there for plot
Well,
reasons.
you do not want for loyalty, which is a quality close to my heart. But this is a serious matter. Mere character statements will not suffice. I'll tell you what. Find me the true perpetrator, and I will declare your friend innocent. You have 24 hours, after which you will all be deemed complicit, clapped in chains, and delivered to Shinra.
That seems fair. Dio putting the power move to good use there.
In the event you decide to make a break for it.
We won't need to.
Good. Now go, before the Turks beat you to the punch.
Wait, the Turks are here?
Competition's good for the soul. Our culprit awaits below, my scrappy friends. In the name of justice, go forth!
That last grab wasn't the gun front arm, that was the wrecking ball hand that he was doing
If you care to
there.
follow me, I will be your faithful guide. And the elevator is that way. This way, folks. Quick as you like.
Follow the little kitty.